Podcast listeners, this is for you. Welcome to No Dunks, presented by FanDuel. I'm Tess Mills, here in the Classic Factory. With me, it's the man in the middle, Trey Kirby. Ayo!
Hey, yo.
And the one who makes the magic happen every single day, it's JD.
Hello.
What's up, JD?
What's up?
We had a big night in the NBA last night.
Oh, huge night. A lot of games going on.
I think I'm going to have to take some sips of water. You just reminded me that...
You thirsty?
Yeah, it's
Got a little
parch
pollen
season.
in your throat?
No doubt.
Yeah, you do.
I was going to say, there's lots to get to and get through, all that, but there's just so much to deal with pollen-wise.
Yeah,
So-
lots to deal with pollen-wise. Your car's probably yellow. I mean, you
No
got a
doubt.
white car. I don't remember. I had a white car for quite a long time, and I felt like it affected it. Maybe not as much as a dark-colored car.
Yeah.
But still, it's out there. It's giving us scratchy throats, but it doesn't matter. It makes the basketballs all the more sticky. And that's why we got two wedges
That's
last
what.
night.
That's your wedgie segue. Yeah,
You like
baby.
that? That's a wedge way right there.
We had 65 and 66. I like Rudy Gobert. He's kind of falling to the floor, so he
Cool
just has
one,
to like,
yep.
throw his hand at it and it sticks it. And then Trey Jones in Philadelphia got one for the Chicago Bulls there. Again, 65 and 66 on pace for 75. According to our friends at WeggieTracker.com, who do the math for us now, don't have to do it ourselves. 75. We're already at a record season, and that would be a very big number.
Yeah, if we get over 70, that's pretty crazy.
It would be pretty
Yeah.
crazy. So, yeah, 12 games to get to. We'll get to some other fun stuff. There's a rival league for the NBA that we're going to
That's
talk
right.
to.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to talk to a one-on-one as a date. What? Yes, a little later on, but there's so many really good games. Let's start with Jamal Murray dropping 53 points for the Denver Nuggets, his fourth career 50-point game, while his teammate had a mere 23 points, 21 rebounds, and 19 assists. That's what Jokic does, his 30th triple-double of the season, a 142-135 game, Denver over Dallas. Pretty fun, Trey.
This was a very fun game. This was a very March game. Both teams shot 50% or better from the field. The Nuggets had 9 turnovers on the night. The Mavericks had 4 turnovers on the night. These two teams said, let's just play offense against each other and see how it goes. And it turned out to be very, very fun. Denver kept Dallas at arm's length basically all night. They could score any which way they wanted to. Jamal Murray was so hot in this game that the broadcast in the first half was lamenting that he doesn't do his arrow out of the quiver celebration anymore.
Huh.
Then he made another 3, and they're like, unleash the quiver. That's how hot this guy was, that they were begging for his old celebrations, speculating that maybe he's just grown out of it a little bit at this point in his career. Jokic also totally dominated a tiny Mavs team. They ran Dwight Powell out there as their center. They ran Marvin Bagley out there as their center. They played some minutes without a big man at all, and that's why Jokic was able to put up a 20-plus rebound game, finished him with 21. That's a lot of roast beef. Almost got to the 20-20-20 game as well, but 53 for Murray. A monster game for Jokic as well. Just an enjoyable exhibition of offensive excellence from this team. They were great. You throw in Cam Johnson had another nice game. Christian Brown had another nice game. 12 for Johnson, 11 for Brown. Those two guys have been in double digits, each of them, in 8 of the last 9 games for the Nuggets. Johnson shooting 58% from the field, 52 from 3. Brown 59 and 40 during that time frame. I feel like these two guys have been activated recently. Seeing the patterns, like Spencer Jones told us, like you just got to adjust to playing with them. Brown had to get healthy. Cam Johnson had to adjust to playing with Jokic and figuring out where his shots are going to be, but they're flying up and down the court, both of these guys, scoring pretty easily, and I think them rounding into form, looking good. You throw in Peyton Watson having a nice game last night. Nuggets were cooking.
Yes.
Not that it was hard for them, but they looked great.
Yeah, the depth is important in that the reigning champs are that extremely deep team in OKC, and it's difficult to compare the Denver Nuggets to OKC in that light. But as you mentioned, you throw the names out there. They didn't even have Aaron Gordon in this game. Spencer Jones, as you said, he just said we need to adjust. He was thrown into the starting lineup because Aaron Gordon was out, and they had enough bodies to do that. They're extremely deep. I'm okay relating them to OKC in all honesty. Because, Peyton Watson was the first guy off the bench in this one, coming back after a game off, 21 off the bench for him. But I understand the broadcasters getting a little... They're just looking for something creative to do. I mean,
show us the arrow.
Yeah, because you can splash 3 after 3 after 3 if you're Jamal Murray. So the broadcasters are just saying, come on, 9 threes. We want to say something different. The two-man game with him and Jokic, even though they have the depth, like you're going to have to rely on Cam Johnson, Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson. And then you go through with Tim Hardaway and everybody, Bruce Brown, everybody just producing. But the two-man game is what it comes down to, and it's literally impossible to stop when Jamal Murray is having his best season of his career. He is. He's grown to this point already this season. He just continues to do it. Again, the second 50-point game of his season, 4th of his career. I don't know how you stop it. The step backs, he even led a fast break. I'm just pulling up. He was calling clear outs. He was going at Najee Marshall. Nah, G Marshall. Nah. This ain't Andrew Nemhard for me. Washington, PJ in your eye, everybody, man. It doesn't matter. I know that you're right about the height, and they're throwing out Dwight Powell.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would think that that's part of the way to stop the two-man game of the Nuggets is to have better players. Because you're talking about the 2 weakest positions on the court for the Mavericks at guard and center.
I would say Najee Marshall, not a guard defensively. So
exactly.
So they threw him out there.
He got lit up.
Yeah. He's the
Mavs had no chance in this game, and the Nuggets knew it. But who cares? Because Jamal Murray is on a roll right now, and Jokic is feeling pretty good as well.
Yeah, as you said about Wemby when he said 50% of the game is defense. When it comes to Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, they have the best offense in the league, and they can beat any defense in the league. And it's partly true that literally no defense is going to stop them. Wemby would help, or somebody to that level. We'll get to OKC and Boston in a sec. There's lots of players on those teams that can do that for them. But again, Nuggets, first best offense in the league, 22nd best defense, but they can still win a championship just like they did in 23. So it'll be fun to see them going. It's also a fun 50-point race for Jokic and Murray. I don't know if the broadcasters talked about this, but Nikola Jokic has 5 career 50-point games. Jamal Murray has 4. Little fun number there. Kind of surprising, I guess, that Murray wouldn't have more, maybe. Are you surprised by either of those, or just like
no? I mean, Jokic has the ball more.
Yeah. But
he's the number 1 guy. I assume he'll have more.
It's a decade for Jamal. Again, this is his best year. So he's having 2 of his 4 in this season. He's gotten better as his career has gone on. We'll see if that continues into the second decade of his career. As that
second decade, huh?
All right, let's go to Boston.
Oh, hold on, man. Okay. Cooper Flagg. That guy's playing. We haven't talked about Cooper Flagg in a month. I feel like his games are kind of anonymous right now because the Mavericks aren't doing anything. He was all over the place last night. No defense from the Nuggets, just like no defense from the Mavericks, but 26 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block for Cooper. He's 27-7 since the All-Star game, and we basically haven't brought him up at all. We talk about Concanipple all the time. The percentages are just okay. He's turning the ball over a lot as he's operating once again as their point guard. But he's better at it now than he was early in the season. So he's trying to make Rookie of the Year still a debate. And I think he's having a hard time because these Maverick games are just happening. And nobody really knows about it.
That is totally true. He came back at that on March 5th, and it was a little slow, just percentages-wise, as you said. Not efficient in his first 5 games, but has picked it up in about his last 10 games. So it's good to mention him. Him and Najee
Don't forget about
put
him.
some points up on the board. They were able to put 135 points on Denver Nuggets. Some talent there. There's no doubt. But yes, that is flying under the radar here as we get to the final 10-ish games for Cooper Flagg in his rookie campaign. Let's go to Boston. It was clearly a finals preview out there. It sure felt like in Boston that this was something that we could see in June. The Celtics snapped OKC's 12-game winning streak. The Jays were at it. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum had great games. Shea had 33 on the other side. What are your takeaways?
The Jays were really good in this one, I thought. The last time we saw the Celtics was in their loss to Minnesota. That was Sunday. Feels like forever ago. You get that many days off during the season at this point. It's very weird, but this was not that at all from the Celtics. I thought that they were very connected. I thought they did a good job of blending Tatum and Brown. I thought Jason Tatum, his second quarter stint, really got the Celtics back on track. It was a tough first quarter for Boston, only 20 points, but in the second, Tatum went for 8 points and 3 assists, got the Celtics into a rhythm, and then Jaylen Brown comes in at the end of the second quarter, was really big in the 11-0 run for Boston, finished with 7 and 2 assists in that quarter. And then Jaylen Brown was just special the entire night. He was phenomenal, I thought, in the second half. 31 points and 8 assists on the evening. Had 14 and 4 in the third quarter, didn't turn the ball over, and then really slammed the door on the Celtics, I thought, in the fourth. Gave SGA a taste of his own medicine, hitting him with a pump fake, got him off his feet, drew a foul on a mid-range jumper. SGA is like, that's my move, man. Highest usage season for Jaylen Brown, like we've talked about, but also his highest assist percentage, and the turnovers aren't so bad. I feel like he has been focusing in particular on his playmaking since Tatum came back. The driving kick was really, really nice from Jaylen Brown in this one. I think the Thunder probably win this game if SGA plays 48 straight minutes. He was 33 points on 10 of 12 shooting, 10 of 12 at the line. They just could not stop this guy, but he only played 36, and they didn't get any really big contributions from anybody else. A real quiet game for J-Dub, and, the Celtics had Tatum playing perfect second fiddle. I thought Pritchard was pretty solid. Shireman was pretty good. So a better team performance all around from the Celtics. And, they were a little bit more rested than the Thunder were. Advantage them, certainly, but to see Boston come back after a tough first quarter, I thought was pretty big.
Yeah. They were looking to make a statement against OKC, hadn't beat them in their last 3 games against them, and then this one was a total team effort. I love the bickering. You mentioned Shea and Jaylen. They were kind of going at it. Jaylen was clapping in his face a little bit, trying to get him just under his skin a little bit, although Shea doesn't allow that to happen. But the Celtics just overall were the better team. Extremely healthy OKC team. Yeah, disappointing that besides Shea, who was extremely slick, that you mentioned, Jalen Williams, 7 points, 2 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3. I'd call it 2 for 8 with a turnover, but, that's just me. I'm not the scorekeeper. Alex Caruso, 1 of 8 from 3, who the Celtics were allowing to shoot. They were just totally relying on Shea. The threes to start the game for Caruso were wide open that he was clanking. And I would say there was 1 make with a toe on the line, so I'd say he was 2 for 9. Either way, I'm just being finicky here in March. Got to get finicky about games. On the other side, the Tatum turned it around in the second quarter. The defense started clicking for Boston, and Jason Tatum had his best game since coming back, I thought. He had a rebound, brought it up, pull back on J-Dub, danced on Chet from the perimeter, got to the rim, then he had a step back on a pick and roll. So this is the Jason Tatum we know. He had his first 4 shots. OKC started doing some doubling, and that's what happened last year, or excuse me, in the championship year in the playoffs. He just took a seat back and allowed Jaylen Brown and the other guys to do their thing. And you could see that the pick and roll from high up in the fourth quarter was exactly what they look like in the past. And he was just throwing passes everywhere. 7 big assists were really key in this game everywhere. To Kata, to Jaylen Brown. And so 19 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. It's a lot quieter than the games we just mentioned from the Denver Nuggets, but I thought it was his best game. He had a help block. He guarded Shea in the last minute. I thought everybody just working on a string there. And Jaylen Brown, some of those moves were awesome. The gather and 2-step through 2 guys had me wondering if that's a travel. It's always hard to tell where the gather starts. He had OKC coming off the bench. That's a travel. But I mean, he was just, I thought, more decisive a lot of the times, like from the corner when he went by Dort, or the Caruso catch, spin, and dunk when Caruso was trying to bot him. He just quick to move past them, and the Celtics were ready. 19-2 in second chance points, while OKC just 12 or 37 from the 3-point line. So,
Yep, if you outshoot OKC, you have a chance. And I mean, look, this is, like you said, a finals preview. I think Mike Wilbon was making some news saying if he had a MVP vote, it's going to Jaylen Brown. he's probably feeling pretty good after last night because Brown was massive.
He was.
In the fourth quarter in particular, like you're saying, when he puts his head down, he can get to the rim on basically anybody. He's doing it against the best defensive team that we've got going in the league. I also liked Baylor Baggins hit 2 straight 3-pointers, I think, in the third quarter. Drew Carter yelled out, "Business in the front, party in the back." Straight up mullet man for Baylor Baggins. But look, he played pretty well. Like the Celtics or the Thunder bench was pretty solid. Like the 39 points, that's a good bench performance. But they didn't get any outstanding guys, like 14 from Pritchard. I think 11 from Shireman as well. They all did their part on the Thunder side, but going the extra mile I thought was big for the Celtics. And you can tell that like the time that Baylor Shireman stepped into the starting lineup has been really beneficial for this team because Tatum comes back, he takes Shireman's spot, but Shireman has gotten all these reps playing with the first unit, playing against better players, and now he looks really good as an option for them off the bench.
Yeah, he won't bite. He produced a Shea turnover just because he didn't bite, and Shea threw it out of bounds. Him and Hugo Gonzalez, even though he had limited minutes, like everybody coming off the bench, you're right, was benefited from just playing as starter minutes. I thought the same sort of story happened with the Denver Nuggets when Jokic was out, and we saw Peyton Watson and that kind of thing happen. And yeah, they were extremely strong. They don't have mullets like Baylor Shireman, but that's just the cool thing to do for kids.
You're right.
Not so much like long hair at the back for everybody, but the classic, like shave some of the side of your hair, at least some of it.
Yeah, like
Shireman hasn't shaved all of it.
These are like baseball haircuts to me. You see a lot of guys in baseball that'll have like trimmed up in the sideburn, temple region, and then the flow coming out the back. So they got that. That's a Gen Z sort of haircut.
Yeah,
I feel like right now. And then they've got Hugo Gonzalez. Obviously has like the Gen Z bangs. So they're bringing in these young guys off the bench, and they've got the cool hairstyles. So that's just good for them. You know, it's good that they're doing that.
It feels like it's such an easy job for. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think hairstylists and barbers kind of have it easy. They just go shave, and like let the rest flow. Like they shave the sides a little bit. And
sure,
it's not hard work on top. Maybe I'm wrong.
Just let it go. I mean, maybe they got to trim it up sometimes.
They do. That's why I'm underestimating their skill set.
I'm telling you, just don't watch haircuts on Instagram. That's why I unfortunately know too much about haircuts right now. I watch one video and suddenly I'm getting every breakdown of the cut.
Yeah, I got hit too.
It's nice though. You know, it is nice to see a transformation for people.
Yeah. It's inspiration. It's motivation to how we're going to change it up. That was a fun game there in Boston that you could tell that
was a good game.
Crowd was into it. The NBA was full of them, though, last night. Let's go to Minnesota. A historic comeback on Houston. Houston scored the first 13 points in overtime. Houston, one team. And then Minnesota responds with 15 straight. Bang! That's the biggest OT comeback since they started tracking play-by-play nearly 30 years ago. And it's an important game in the standings for Minnesota to win this. Your takeaway from Minnesota beating Houston in OT.
This is literally unbelievable to me. I went to bed during overtime. Like I thought Houston was going to be blowing this game out. You know, it's past midnight Eastern time. I'm thinking, okay, they're up by 13. Şengün is doing monster dunks. I just watched Minnesota completely melt down in the fourth quarter. They blew an 11-point lead with 2.5 minutes left. Jaden McDaniels is limping around.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert fouls out. Naz Reid gets ejected. Things look bad for the Timberwolves. I'm like, all right, get some rest, buddy. 2 shows tomorrow. You need to be at your absolute peak. Am I? I don't know. Because I went to bed and then I saw this. I saw the headline and I was like, wow, I knew that was a bad collapse for the Timberwolves, but I didn't know it was a historic collapse. Then I looked at it again. I was like, wait a second here. The Wolves are the one who pulled off the comeback in the end. Completely blew my mind. But I went back. I watched the last 5 minutes of overtime. I watched the last 5 minutes of regulation to see how did this actually happen? To go from a 26-2 run from Houston to the Timberwolves completely flipping it on them. I just feel like a little TBS for the Rockets type butthole syndrome. Jabari Smith had a wide open 3-pointer from the corner, missed it. Şengün has a tough layup, but it's over Julius Randle. That's a shot he can finish. Missed it. Kevin Durant goes to the line, down by 2. just got to make a couple of free throws. Misses the first one. They do the intentional miss on the second one. Just shots that should go in for the Rockets when they're playing that well were not going in. Meanwhile, Julius Randle, I thought Kyle Anderson and Dante DiVincenzo as well showed up big time in overtime. Anderson creating, Randle getting to the rim when he needed to, and DiVincenzo just no conscience. He's going to shoot it if he feels like he's open at all. He was making plays. They were all making plays, and even Terrence Shannon Jr., this guy didn't play at all in the game. Subs in the last 2.5 minutes and was making defensive plays, scrapping, getting rebounds. He was just active out there. That's a guy that had a little bit of expectations coming into the season. Hasn't had a great second year, I don't think, but to be thrown in a weird situation like that was pretty good for him. So, yeah, I could not believe that the Wolves actually came back and did this.
I totally agree. It didn't feel that way. Even with Anthony Edwards being held out, I thought, okay, then maybe the Wolves can do it. But then no Ayo Dosunmu either. So they start Mike Conley. And, yeah, guys like TJ Shannon coming through with some key plays. It's overridden by the two games I think that we talked about a little bit. But there's some just incredible stuff. Like that last play in regulation where Durant gets doubled as he's trying to win the game, and his pass is captured by Nasri, turn it over. So here comes Julius Randle the other way, and it looks like he's going to finish. Alperen Şengün out of nowhere with a monstrous block, and he falls on his face. And he gets up,
cool.
and he's dripping blood as he leaves the court. I mean, that is some scenic stuff.
Yes.
And it felt like Şengün, it's just fitting for that guy. That guy is tough. And that was perfect. And so
he had a big block in overtime as well. Had a big dunk in overtime. Like the Rockets seemed to be rolling through that point. Like Durant had a pretty poor game up until the fourth quarter, caught fire, couldn't miss for like 20 straight minutes. It felt like, and then suddenly the offense just completely disintegrated. They weren't able to get any sort of good looks. They're getting poorly timed 8-second violations, not even able to get the ball past half court. I don't know if they just took their foot off the gas or what, but I think this is a combination. Great win for the Timberwolves. It mattered a lot with regards to tiebreakers and seeding and all that, and also just a brutal loss for the Rockets to be able to rally the way they did in the fourth quarter. You know, a comeback like that can take it out of you. This was an overtime game, so maybe they were fatigued at the end there, but it kind of just felt like short-circuiting from the Rockets.
Yes, I liked how they had some guys who still fought through. All of them, they still fought through. Like Reed Shepherd, he started 1 of 9 from 3, and to start OT, he splashes that 3. Then he got a steal that got the Şengün dunk going. So after that, you just thought it was over.
Yes, definitely.
But, Durant fought through. He had a slow start shooting the ball, but to get to 30 points, you mentioned the missed free throws. He hit every single one. Until his overtime miss. So, it is a weird one. The thing that's not that weird is that the Rockets had 20 turnovers. That happens with this team, and that's the unfortunate part. But I mentioned Reed Shepherd because they are sort of they're going to this Reed Shepherd era now. They're assuming Fred VanVleet's not playing this year, so they're starting Reed Shepherd now. And then I did like how he got it going in OT despite his bad start. So, just trying to pick some positives out. Other positive was that the guy Anthony Edwards always says is the key to the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels, had a great game. As always, he was limping around and fighting through that, but 25 points and 2 steals to go along with Randall's 24. These two teams will play again on April 10th. Houston is in 6th now, 1.5 back of Minnesota in 5th. I guess Minnesota has a bit of the tougher schedule. They have 9 games left and 6 are on the road, but they are a pretty good road team. So TBD on that.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota to me is kind of TBD every game.
Night.
Even in this game, they were TBD.
Yeah, that's true.
They were beat for a second there after it looked like they had a win going into the fourth quarter. Very up and down, both of these teams, and very up and down specifically in this game as well.
And hopefully we'll be back soon to join their team with 9 games left. Let's go to Detroit. I thought this was super fun to start the night. Atlanta was pushing that thing, just moving it, and Jalen Johnson was throwing it around. Great assist to start this game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was hot. They're up 21 in the first half, but the Pistons come back to send it to overtime when CJ McCollum helps win the game for the Atlanta Hawks in Detroit. Another overtime game here, Trey.
Yeah, this was a wild comeback as well, because like you're saying, the Hawks were looking awesome through the first half. They had a 21-point lead with maybe 30 seconds left in the half. Duncan Robinson, I know, hit a three to cut it to 18 going into the third quarter. It was a 4-point game with 9 minutes left. They went on such a huge run, the Pistons did, to start the third quarter, tied with 6.5 minutes, and then we just played like a normal basketball game after it was fast break city. In the first half, and then just back and forth, lead changes, ties for each team, and then like you said, CJ McCollum was really, really good. He scored 11 straight at 1 point for the Hawks in the fourth quarter, added another 3 points only in overtime, but I think he's been pretty solid since coming over to Atlanta. First and foremost, when you're comparing him to Trae Young, CJ's playing, he's out there, that's helpful. I think he has just been doing his normal CJ McCollum stuff, 18 or 19 points per game, pretty decent percentages, can play make a little, turns the ball over a little, but not killing you either way. But he was big for them last night. Jalen Johnson, good as well. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, good as well. And I like that the Hawks have basically turned Dyson Daniels into Draymond Green. They play him as the roll man for Jalen Johnson a lot of times so they can get some weird switches. And also Daniels is pretty solid with the floater and a pretty solid short roll guy. Just like Draymond, you don't necessarily think the three-pointer is going to go in when he takes it, but they found a way to at least make him into an effective offensive player rather than somebody that you need to worry about ever touching the ball. So I think that's been good for Atlanta. Detroit still had a chance to win this one. Jalen Duren had a little bit more time, I think, than he took on the tip-in on the last possession for Detroit. Tried to get it off a little bit too fast, kind of babied it up there, but they could have won. Detroit 12 offensive rebounds in the second half. You could tell the halftime speech was, hey, we got to play harder. We're letting the Hawks just run and play too free, which is the case in the first half. But in the second half, Detroit buckled down. They didn't have Cade. Maybe they pull this win off if he plays, but big time win for the Hawks. They jumped up to 5th in the Eastern Conference with the win.
Yeah, they go into Detroit and steal it. That first half was so important. Maybe Detroit just haven't beat the Lakers, having won 4 straight. Got that Dennis Jenkins game in you. Maybe they started a little slow because of that. Because the first half, I thought the Jalen Johnson show, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was scorching hot. He had 14 points in the first quarter, but then the Jalen Johnson passes, the outlet passes. He's leading the break with those great passes to Zachary Risachet, the push ahead that Zachary Risachet ended with the dunk, push ahead to Dyson Daniels, the bounce back to Onyeka Okongwu. They were awesome. He was so good. And then he scored plenty, 15 in the second quarter, 6 of 7 for him. I like that little ESPN graphic, going into the second half that they show where the guy hit the shots from. It looks pretty cool, especially with it's Jalen Johnson. So that was fun. It was 15-6 fast break points for Atlanta in the first half, and the whole game changed. Yeah, I did like going to Dyson Daniels. It's a good point about him. Just here you go, man. Just do your thing inside at the paint. Had some nice finishers too.
8 offensive rebounds. Like, he's active.
Oh yeah,
They're making him less of a decision maker, I think, right? Like, they've got CJ as a lead ball handler. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a lead ball handler as well. Jalen Johnson takes up a huge chunk of possessions. So what is Dyson Daniels going to do? You don't want him as an off-ball three-point shooter. Doesn't make any sense, but involve him some way and let him do what he's best at, which is floaters and finding guys and getting busy, making plays all over the court, whether that's offensive rebounding, steals, deflections, that kind of stuff. They figured out a way for him to be effective.
Yeah, make the decisions. They know that they can rely on him to do that. He'll even just throw it up onto the glass and miss. If he has to, he can go get it. I mean, he's so big. Kudos to all the fans in that Little Caesars Arena that yelled "air ball" when he missed his 1 3-pointer of the game. I could hear him through the speakers. It was well done.
Gabe was pretty solid last night too, man.
Hey, Gabe was all right, man.
Couple of threes and another bucket. He did okay.
They needed him because they took away Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the second half. They did a pretty good job there. Yeah, the Pistons came alive. It's good to see Kevin Huerter playing basketball again a little bit.
Sure.
He's doing some stuff out there.
He's been playing more recently, for sure.
Yeah. He had a nice take, some steal, and setting up Duren, who, just missed that last one.
Just missed it.
Good game from him. 26 from him. 22 from Tobias Harris. Great game from Asar Thompson, who had 18 points on 11 shots. Cade's there. It's a little different, I assume. But anyway, a good game there. So we've gone through 4 games. Another 8 out there.
Chunky skid.
Joel Embiid returned? What?
Yeah, baby.
That game kind of came out of nowhere. Paul George returned? What?
Yeah, 35, 6, and 7 for Embiid in 28 minutes. Paul George went for 28, 6, and 4 with 4 steals in 26 minutes as the Sixers squeaked by the Bulls. 157 to 137. This game was over in the fourth quarter, and they're like, Paul George, you haven't played in like a year and a half, it felt like. So they just let him go crazy in the fourth quarter, and he completely dominated. I was at Men's League on Tuesday night, and a guy told me his 2 dark horses in the Eastern Conference were the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay.
Everybody loves the Hornets right now.
Okay.
And the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
Do you buy them at all as a dark horse here in the East? They got Embiid back. He looked great. They got Paul George back. He looked great. Maxey, it's just a hand injury. He can return from that and still be good.
I buy them.
Buy them?
I buy them. I
you
know.
think they can win a first-round series?
Yes. Yes. That's
wow.
what I'm buying.
Right now, they are a play-in team only by a half game back
Yeah, that
of
would be
the Raptors. So they would be playing the Pistons, who theoretically would have Cade back, or the Celtics, who just got Jason Tatum back.
Yeah, that's a bad spot for them. I would want them to move up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give them a chance against Boston.
Yeah, me neither.
New York, I think, is quite unlikely. Detroit, we'll see what Cade looks like when he comes back. I think that's just a question mark to have. Cleveland, I don't know. I mean, Philadelphia, they're the if men. If this guy's healthy and playing well, if this guy's healthy and playing well, if this guy's healthy and playing well. Literally, their top 3 are all question marks right now. I think it's quite unlikely that they win a first-round series, but it's fun to talk yourself into it.
Yeah, well, I'm not taking them against the Pistons or the Celtics. In a 3-6 series, let's say they get up to play the Knicks, I'm still likely taking the Knicks, although I am going to enjoy watching Mitchell Robinson as a Joel Embiid stopper. There aren't too many huge bodies that can go up 1-on-1 against him. I am picking the Sixers against the Cavs, possibly. It is a big ifs, a bunch of ifs, as you said. They're not far from the 5th spot where they would play the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Sure.
They're only a game back of these Atlanta Hawks. And yeah, I got to get excited when I see Joel Embiid come back after several weeks out with an oblique injury and dropping points. It is the Chicago Bulls, but you're looking good. 35 points, and Paul George come back. So yeah, the pieces are there to battle with the Cleveland Cavaliers if that's the matchup.
Yeah, especially they got Allen out right now. I mean, he's supposed to be coming back soon, but
yeah, they're tiny.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that would need to prove it for sure in the playoffs.
A guy who won't have to prove it is Victor Wembanyama.
Okay.
The Spurs Grizzlies, just the dunks were fun from Spurs Grizzlies.
There's a lot of good dunks.
Stephon Castle.
Windmill.
On Taylor Hendricks.
Uh-huh.
And then a sit down, stare down after. He was sitting.
Sit down, stare down.
Yeah. And staring at Taylor Hendricks for battling him. And then the GG Jackson and Wemby back and forth.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
GG Jackson kind of dunked on Wemby.
Kind of, yeah.
Snuck it by him at the very least. Great dunk from GG Jackson on the very next possession. Victor with one of his coolest looking dunks, I thought. Like, he really cocked that one back to dunk on GG Jackson. Yeah. Nice win for the Spurs. And yeah, I agree. Cool dunks. Even the announcers are like, this is turning into a dunk contest because it wasn't much of a basketball game.
No.
But the highlights were great.
A guy who's always making highlights. We buried Luka here because he scored 43 against the Pacers, but it's his 14th 40-point game of the season, most by a Laker since Kobe nearly 20 years ago. So a lot of 40-point games.
Yeah.
He's having a great season. And we mentioned the Cavs as a potential matchup against the 76ers. They're coming off a big win that we were giving them. We were talking about them with Donovan Mitchell and Harden performing against the Magic. Big win. I mean, it was a good win. And then they get beat pretty bad by the Miami Heat, who change up to their starting lineup. Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Norm Powell, Andrew Wiggins is back, and Bam Adebayo. Yeah, so those 5 guys. As much as we talk about the Western Conference gonna be full of tough playoff series, the Miami Heat in a series are still going to be tough. So yeah, those teams have come on. We mentioned the Charlotte Hornets, just all those teams in the play-in. There's no sub 500 team in the Eastern Conference standings from 1 through 10, unlike the West. So they're all going to be fairly tough. We'll see what the Magic can become. They're the 10th seed right now.
But that was a much needed win for the Heat, and definitely good to get Wiggins back. I wonder if that will be their starting lineup because it's pretty small. Mitchell, Hero, Powell, and Wiggins. Like
it is.
Wiggins is kind of a stretch as a 4, though he can guard up a little bit. But great fourth quarter, I thought, in particular for the Heat. Really blew out the game there. Yeah, Luka 11 straight with 30 or more. Reeves had 25 and 8. LeBron had 23 and 9 assists. 3 more dunks. This guy, I don't know what happened in these few games he missed, but whatever sort of body treatment he did, it's working very well, and he's playing incredibly complimentary right now to Luka and Reeves, who are both balling. Do you see Caitlin Clark was a photographer?
I did.
Got some nice snaps.
Did she? I didn't see her actual snaps. I just saw her.
Yeah, she was there. She took a lot of photos of LeBron. Yeah, they're good. She's probably got a nice camera, I think.
Cool. Yeah.
What other stuff happened? The Clippers, the Blazers, and the Warriors all won last night. Like you said, only the Warriors are under 500 in the postseason right now. They got a chance to get to 500. I think it's unlikely. They're like 3 games under, but I don't know. At least the Warriors got a win. I was going to say encouraging, but not really. They were playing the Nets, and they needed all 48 minutes basically to get it, but at least they did it. And the Wizards snapped their losing streak, Tass. 26 for our guy, Julian Reese. Ace Bailey threw down a couple of nice dunks, a reverse, and then he had another one there where he like came up on the other side. Another good Will Riley game. I love to see these rookies showing out in Mickey Mouse March. The Kings, the Pacers, and the Wizards all maxed out at 16 straight losses this season. The Nets are at 9 straight. They've got 9 games left. They could take the crown for longest losing streak of the season if they really, really want it. But maybe 16 will be the number this year. Good win for the Wiz.
Yeah. Ben Suraf even had a dunk.
He did.
Yeah, it was
Ben
nice.
Suraf was dunking.
That was nice. All right. That's it from the dozen NBA games. We'll get to lots of fun stuff like a rival league. What? But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Call the tune, stack the deck. This is your deal. Ho, ho, good deal, Lucille. I just got to sing. And right now, new FanDuel customers can get up to $300 back in bonus bets. Now, that's a deal. Every day for 10 days if your bet loses. Here's how it works. Place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets every single day for 10 straight days. That's 10 chances to play all tourney long, from game props and money lines to spreads, totals, futures, and more. Sounds all right. In all honesty, that's a lot of chances. You can even mix things up with same-game parlays. However you want to do it, FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the action day after day. So visit the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. FanDuel, it is time to dance. What is the time to dance? And by that, I mean, what time do the games start today?
We got later starts today because we're down to, the Sweet 16. So... Right. Looks like 7:10 is the earliest game. Texas Purdue.
So okay.
Cool.
So a doubleheader each night.
Quadruple header.
Oh yeah.
Texas Purdue tonight. Iowa, Nebraska, Arizona, Arkansas.
Oh yeah, you got to play through the 16 teams.
Illinois,
the first 2
Houston,
days.
And St. John's, Duke. So actually, there are a lot of games tonight.
Here we go.
A lot of games.
St. John's, Duke.
I'm excited.
Ready.
Illinois, Houston. I'm very excited for this match. Big good one.
Are you Illinoising?
Oh, yeah. I want Illinois to win for sure.
But Houston's got that rep as being a good defensive team.
Yeah, it's a 2 versus 3. We got NBA talent on both sides. Good stuff.
Very good stuff. Now, it's time for the Up-Down Report.
Preparing your tunties. It's the Up-Down Report.
I lied to you.
Why'd you lie?
I lied. I'm not. No St. John's Duke tonight. I'm sorry that I misled you.
Did you FanDuel it? Is that what happened? That's what happens to me. That's why I assume.
I did.
Because they don't split up the days. It's almost like an infinity scroll. Like, just keep betting, keep betting, keep betting. They don't separate the days.
They don't. I mean, I even saw that it said Friday. I just didn't know which one I was referring to.
I know.
I'm so sorry to everyone out there. But we're going to make it up to you with a great Up-Down Report because we got some weird stuff. These are all weird topics, if I'm being honest with you. Leaks started surfacing this week that the Timberwolves are undergoing a rebrand for next season, which was followed closely by leaks of what people think is going to be the new logo, which is kind of halfway between the original Timberwolves wolf and the current Howling at the Moon logo. And as you can see, if you're here with us on YouTube, going back to the original Timberwolves colors of like a royal blue and a green. Allegedly, the uniforms that they're going to be doing are kind of like a combination of eras with the original blue and green colors, the tree trim from the Kevin Garnett era, and this logo here that splits the difference. So, Tass, are you up or down on the Timberwolves leaked new logo?
I am absolutely up. I don't think I'm playing the nostalgia card here. I don't think it's just nostalgia. I think it is the smart move for new ownership to go back to that, but I do like how they're going back to the old Wolf, but they've changed the direction of the Wolf. It's not just a profile photo.
True.
So it's like the Wolf used to stare right at you. I mean, the Wolf currently, I should say, like it stares right at you. Mm-hmm. Now we're turning it to the side a little bit. It looks cooler. I do like the font from the MINN logo better than the current one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more with it. And yeah, again, profile versus the one that's staring right at you, way better. Yeah, and I like the change in font. So old colors, not exactly the old colors as you said, but I think they took the right things from the old one, give it a little twist, and it's better. It's better, like the logo that they're currently using, the one with the wolf staring at you and that font.
No, you're wrong about this. The original one has the wolf staring right at you. The current one is pretty similar to this, where he's profile and howling. Oh.
Yeah. That's what I'm mixing up. But the wolf now, even with that font, that combination is what I was getting at. It's just like, it's kind of gimmicky to me, a little bit. And this one is just more classic. A classic look of the font and the profile of Mr. Wolf.
I agree. This Mr. Wolf looks way more friendly and pettable to me. The current one looks a little bit more aggro. Yeah. We'll see what the jerseys actually look like, but I think this is good because the Timberwolves kind of need a rebrand, and you can tell because every time they wear their throwbacks, whether it be like the Tom Gugliotta blue and green era or like last night, they were wearing the black Kevin Garnett with the tree trim. Everybody likes that more than what they've currently got going on. I feel like what they have right now with the big bar across the top is a little bit dated to me. So they're in need of a rebrand. I see the stream team here is actually saying 59% down on this, which is kind of surprising. Maybe it's because we're only getting a tiny glimpse of what may be. But I'm encouraged, and I think the Wolves are due for a refresh of their look, and I think dipping into the archives and not just going for a straight nostalgia play is a good way to do it. Kind of combine things, which to me is like what the Bucks did. The Bucks have had one of the best rebrands, I think. They had an Angry Deer for a while, and now they've got like it's still an Angry Deer, but like they've incorporated some vintage looks as well. Are there any other teams you think that could use an update?
Wow. Which one stands out as a need of an update? Like when I was going through all these Minnesota Timberwolves and why I was sort of conflating all of them, I was combining all of them after looking at them. And that's why I was saying like the one that was forward looked gimmicky, more gimmicky, but they got rid of that for a reason because it did look gimmicky. They just had like a short run with those. And yeah, they've gone to the profile, which was smarter. And now if I go through every single logo here, I'm going to make some mistakes again and probably combine some logos. I don't know. Nothing jumping out to me. Is there one that you feel like?
Yeah, there's a few. I've mentioned Dallas before. They're kind of similar to Minnesota to me in that their older looks were more appealing. And they've been wearing the current Dallas set for like 20 years, it feels like. And to me, I thought they were going to rebrand after Dirk Nowitzki retired, but then it was like, hey, we got Luka Doncic. He's wearing the same jerseys as Dirk. How cool is that? And then they got Cooper Flag. It's like, look, he's wearing the same jerseys as Luka and Dirk. How cool is that? But I still think they could use a new one. I also think Phoenix is pretty good, but they can be better. And then Houston is one that I've kind of like, all right, maybe it's time for something new from Houston as well. They have changed up sort of the detailing of their jerseys, but I'm not a huge fan of like the HR logo that they use as their main thing. So I think those are a couple of teams that just look like early 2000s to me. And it's 2026. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, let's see what you got. I will say to the stream team who doesn't approve, Imagine it was a better photo of the logo. Like this leaked photo, it's just not the best of. It doesn't sell you.
What, you're saying that a top-down photo of a sweatshirt that was in a gift shop isn't the perfect way to launch this? No.
Yeah, take a better photo and then you might like it. This is just a quick leak. Apparently they have stopped, if I'm remembering the tweet correctly, they've stopped selling anything with the logo on it, so it's going to happen.
Yeah,
This is happening
Yeah.
eventually. And plus, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry just took over. It's time to.
Sure.
They're a lot younger than Glenn Taylor, and I'm sure they're understanding what we got to do here. Let's go back. You're right about you don't got to do the same thing over and over, but sometimes you just got to go simple to go back to the old Wolf, the nostalgia play. That's the right play sometimes, and I think in this case it is.
Nice. You think A-Rod is approving this stuff? Think he's in the meetings taking a look at the new wolf? Oh, I could pet that wolf.
Yeah. I think Mark Lowry is probably has got more of the voice.
Okay.
Because he's big into different companies and all that. But I don't think they make any decision without A-Rod. I don't know why I think that, but I do.
You're so
I
right.
just do.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. A-Rod has the final say on all decisions regarding the Minnesota Timberwolves. Speaking of other businesses, The Athletic reported this week that, quote, emerging global basketball league currently known as Project B, which has already signed several top women's players, is now eyeing the men's game. LeBron's business partner, Maverick Carter, is involved with this, and Project B plans to focus on developing the best young talent in the world and extending the careers of established players. They plan to launch both the men's and the women's league next fall. Men's league would run from November through April, broadcast games on YouTube. So Taz, are you up or down on the Project B League?
Project B.
Project B
What a
League.
name.
Yeah, that might be a working title name.
Yeah, I guess that's exactly what it was. I got to go down as far as the men's league goes. The women's is totally different in that it doesn't run at the same season as the WNBA season. So it makes more sense. And because a lot of WNBA players have done that for years, but then you're going to pair it with the NBA exactly at the same time as the NBA season.
Yeah, that's surprising to me.
That is surprising because in WNBA, the CBA, as far as we know, says they are allowed to sign and play in other leagues, while the NBA players are forbidden from signing and playing in other leagues. So this could be just players, whether it's college players graduating and wanting to go play somewhere else, or European leagues. That could be the case. Or guys like right at the end of their career and they're done with the NBA and going to sign. I mean, that's the optimal situation. But it just doesn't seem like they're going to get a ton of players. Now, they may just be taking advantage of what the what they're doing with women's players, in that they've already got a plan. It was scheduled for this fall, but it looks like they're pushing it back to just time it with the NBA possibility, or with the NBA players, men's players possibly. But it was supposed to feature 6 teams of 11 players that play 7 2-week tournaments in cities across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. And they've got big WNBA names signed, really big ones. This one, it doesn't really make sense to me because you also have the NBA and FIBA introducing another league eventually.
Yes.
In 2027. So there's I think too many moving parts. This kind of feels like to me when the G League said, all right, we're going to have the Ignite. We're going to have this team. We're going to pay them a lot. And this is a great alternative to college basketball. Then the college basketball came out with the NIL. The G League Ignite went poof. They don't need it anymore. It's not useful anymore. The G League became a minor league. There's just too many other options, I think, for players like NIL, or going to play in Europe, or going to play in this NBA and FIBA league for this to succeed as far as the men go, to me.
It does feel like there's going to be a lot of competition for the players if they're going to be doing the timeline as the same as the NBA season, which is the same as the NCAA season, because they're targeting the best young players. They say the best young talent in the world. So you're right. That is a G League Ignite sort of mandate that they've been given to try and get some of these guys. And, if they pay them enough, maybe they will sign with Project B League. The older players, you're right. These are good players that they have from the WNBA. Breanna Stewart, Alyssa Thomas, people that are finishing in the top 5 in MVP voting in the WNBA, but they have the opportunity to play. You would have to be making the choice to leave the NBA to go and play for this league. So that to me means like you're saying, guys that are at the end of their NBA career and could maybe get more money to go and try and start something new. But I also think the competition is good all around. You look at the big three, like that's still around, and that's become like a fun place for Joe Johnson to go, Deshaun Stevenson, right? Like just random dudes who have aged out of the NBA but can still compete. And, you know, Joe Johnson played well enough in the big three that he got a COVID call-up at once upon a time. You see the undefeated women's league, that's having success. These one-on-one battles that you see on Instagram, like that has a lot of motion online as well. People do love basketball, other forms of basketball. So I'm not totally down on this. I'm like 2/3 up, I would say. It's the timing of it is weird. And if you've ever played in a men's league, it doesn't sound great to be joining the B league, right? You'd rather join the A league.
Name-wise,
so I wonder
they
if
gotta
that
be
one
working
will
on
be
it.
changed.
Yeah.
And the barnstorming part is interesting as well, like playing in cities all around the globe. That's different. That's a good way to grow your fan base globally, I suppose.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And that's why it definitely works for women at not playing in the WNBA and having that off season and going around and growing that game as it has grown so much in the last couple of years. Yeah, they're going to definitely capitalize on that. Yeah, the NBA thing is odd because, like, for the big three, for instance, that's in the summer. And so that kind of makes sense as an alternative. This would be competing directly with the NBA, timing-wise. In different places, it wouldn't be because it's going through Asia. The Women's Project B is currently going through Asia, Europe, and the Americas. I thought that if I'm doing the business plan here, I'm capitalizing on going through all those cities and having the men there as well and being able to play in those arenas at the same time. But as far as like college players go, you graduate and you decide, okay, I'm going to play in this league instead of trying to make it in the G League and trying to get up to the NBA. As much as I use the G League Ignite as an example, the G League currently is really good at developing players and moving them up to the NBA. So I think players going to say, hey, I'm playing in Project B are just kind of giving up on their NBA players' careers. We were watching guys like Dominic Barlow. There's just so many that are, like, actually get up and play in the NBA. Why would you want to go play abroad and give up that possibility?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of players from abroad that are in the NBA as well.
Yeah.
Not just stars, but like dudes, you know?
What do you mean? What are we talking about? Just
if you're good in Project B League, they'll discover you.
okay.
Right. And like I even think the NBA was maybe a little hasty in closing down the G League Ignite. Yeah, maybe Scoot Henderson didn't turn into a star, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin for the G League, but like Buzelis is a good player.
Yeah.
Jalen Green is a good player. Like there are guys that have had success from that program. It just, once college started offering money as well, that was a better way for players to keep the American exposure and get paid for their services. But I'm like, I don't know. It'll just be tough. They were going to have to pay these guys so much money. Because like, take a look at like Klay Thompson, to me, is a guy who is towards the end of his NBA career. He's 36 years old. Maybe he would want to go to Project B League and travel around the globe, become a huge superstar there, and a team still stays interested in him. He's making $16 million this year. It's easy to beat a WNBA salary, you know?
Right.
Even after the new CBA kicks in for them, like, it's easy to offer a player $5 million. You have to offer a lot of money to beat a $16 million contract.
Yeah, as far as Klay goes, it would have to be that no NBA team is offering him anything.
Yes.
I imagine. It's the end of the career, guys, like Joe Johnson playing in the big three. Like, you're kind of done. So they're gonna have to. It rivals so many different things. It happens at the same time with so many things. NBA, college, and then this FIBA/NBA league that's going to start in 2027, plus the Euro League, where guys who are playing abroad can go make plenty of money. It's not NBA money, but it is plenty of money. It feels like it's a definitely right now. It feels like an answer for the women's game as they go and play here or Unrivaled. They have options. It feels a little excess as far as maybe it's too late.
I don't know, man. I gotta get in now.
You gotta get in now.
Expansion's coming.
But yeah, well,
You're telling me there's 30 players that are good enough to play in the NBA right now. We're getting 30 new jobs.
yeah.
So why not a second league that guys can get some exposure in? I'm actually changing my mind. I'm up on this now.
They can't make as much money as NBA. So why would any of those players
Well,
decide?
that's why they have the schedule the same as November through April. So these guys can work their way to the NBA.
Yeah, it's possible. They could also work their way to the NBA going to play in EuroLeague.
Still an option, though.
Yeah.
I just think having more places and more people looking for stars is good.
Plenty of options. There's no doubt. TBD.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing. Because I guess this is like this all also relates back to the photo of LeBron and Maverick Carter on a yacht with Jokic's agent. Remember
Yes.
all that speculation?
Yes.
And that guy's really tied in to the international game. So maybe this is a way for international players who like play in random leagues and, have crossovers with different cup sort of things. Maybe this is a way for them to get exposure as well. But it definitely feels like a lot of competition for players who maybe could make it to the NBA, but also a lot of competition for these other leagues, these secondary leagues as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's supposed to be launching, at the same time as the NBA and FIBA league is supposed to start in October 2027. That's a lot happening all at the same time.
It's a lot happening.
So TBD on this one. Although the women's part was supposed to start literally this fall.
Soon?
It was supposed to start this fall. And they signed all these players.
I can still start it.
They could.
It's only spring.
And just run a year of just the women's side and do the men at
Yeah.
whenever,
Well, I mean, they're
down the
saying
road.
they're starting the men as well, but I mean, there's no reason the women shouldn't start.
No.
Yeah, they
That
seem
makes
further
sense.
along. At the
Yeah,
very least.
absolutely. Yeah. They signed a bunch of players, right?
Speaking of women, I saw a great tweet this week on X, the everything app. This one came from @glutenfreeperk, who tweeted, "Just got asked to go on a date by a stranger," and he threw out a couple of suggestions. One of them being a 1-versus-1 basketball game. Like, I'm gonna decline, but I completely respect it. I wonder how often this has worked for him. How many girls has he taken to the paint, so to speak? Tass, are you up or down on one-on-one as a date,
I'm up on it.
as a first date?
We're going first date. See, there's a lot of working parts. If it's a first date, there's got to be other things going on. Like, we're not just, hey, I'll meet you at the court, bring your shorts and bring your towel or whatever. There's got to be more involved. But I think it's just a piece of the date. Main part would be, yeah, we'll go have some dinner, I suppose, after we go play basketball. It's got to be a two-parter.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't just say, let's go to the court and have a great night afterward. There's got to be a little bit more involved. But I do think there's some definitely positives of playing basketball.
Competition?
Yeah, one-on-one where
Sweating on each other?
we're sweating on each other. There's going to be some physicality.
Post-ups? Come on.
No doubt. Yes,
Getting boxed out? Oh, that's nice.
as the gluten-free perk said, she liked the idea, right? She
It
completely,
was interesting, at least.
yeah, it interested her. I do like, you're not necessarily going to go, where the players are going to have the idea, like, I'm going to destroy you and beat you 11-7. I like that part of it. Like, you're just going to show your skill set. For me, I'm selfish, and I would say I get to show my skill set without, like, really trying extremely hard and sucking. I can just play to my level. Like, sometimes when I slow things down,
Sure.
I can show all my spins. Because you don't have to be good. Like, you don't have to be. If you're not playing like extremely hard one-on-one, you don't have to do anything incredibly good with it. It's a date. We're working it out.
Take
You're
it
not
easy.
you're not gonna school me.
You're not throwing bows.
Yeah,
You're doing cool moves.
cool
You
moves.
can't go overboard.
Less physicality, but still some physicality.
You need
so
a
I
little
like the
physicality.
idea. I like the idea.
Yeah, I think I agree with Diz Cup here in the stream team. As a date, up. As a first date, down. I don't know if this is the ideal first date opportunity.
Right.
Not a lot of chatting time. I actually was wondering, JD, do you think pickleball would be a better choice of a date? You're facing each other, right?
Well, you're also could be partners, right?
You could be partners as well. Yeah.
Instant ick, really, if I reached out to somebody and say, hey, let's go on a pickleball date. Unless they were over 60, I guess.
But like you and Rachel go and play pickleball together.
We do. Yeah,
It's a fun activity for you. I like playing 3 possessions of one-on-one against Laura in the driveway.
Sure. Yeah. But you're married.
It's also true.
Yeah.
I
mean, like, look, it's like, are you going to, try to cook her or, like if I asked somebody to go play basketball, it would be instant. I would be the one getting cooked. Right. So maybe that's like a setup, right? Where, you're going to destroy me at basketball.
Yeah. I feel like this is a one-on-one would be more of a, we're kind of almost shooting around together. Like we're not really trying to, and so I think there's lots of talk. There's lots of chatter.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just shooting this bomb here. Oh man, somebody's got to go run and get this thing that went down the hill or whatever. Like there's more, I don't know why I'm playing on a hill, but it's more of, it's, we're getting together.
Yeah.
Rather
it's something to do with your hands.
Yeah.
And you're not walking, you're not going for a walk, and you're not having a drink. You're actually doing an activity. It's like playing putt-putt or whatever.
Yeah. It's sort of like playing putt-putt. I think it's a little more high risk than putt-putt.
No doubt.
Yeah. From an injury perspective, and also like you could make a fool of yourself. Like if you ask, hey, let's go play one-on-one together as our first date, and you just brick it all night.
Yeah, it's more of a
this person's like, why did you ask me to do this?
Yeah, that's weird.
High potential for looking like a fool.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I think more of a horse game is what we'd probably want to do. Like more of a let's see your skills without. Yeah, let's play pig or whatever. And then you could, just see what the other person can do rather than, getting extremely sweaty, potentially getting injured. Sounds like fun, though. But I agree with, was it Diz Cup?
Diz Cup.
Like, you don't want this to be the end all and the be all of your first date.
Sure.
Like I said, there's got to be some other
Another
parts.
activity.
Yeah.
Shower up and we're going to go get some wings together. What's a normal date for you nowadays?
Great question. It's dinner, man.
Of course it
boring,
is.
boring stuff.
Yeah.
Movies are hot right now.
There we go.
In my world. Those are the main ones.
What about you, JD?
It's movies and dinner.
Yep.
Yep.
Movies and dinner. That's all you do.
Was that yours? Your lineup?
Yeah, but sometimes we go over to a friend's house for dinner. Is that a date? I don't know. It is. You're out without your kids.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you're with friends. What a catch-22. Sometimes your kids are there, and then it's a family date. We love romance, don't we?
We sure do.
We love romance. You want me to take a whoa boy?
If you're in the mood.
In the mood for love? I am. Whoa boy. Whoa boy. We don't have a sponsor, do we?
No.
I didn't think so. We got a whoa boy, though. His name is Jamal Murray. He scored 53 basketball points with 9 made three-pointers, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in a big-time win for the Denver Nuggets. Quality whoa boy.
Stroking it.
You think this is good?
Yeah, 19 of 28 from the field. 9 threes.
Great.
4 turnovers. Nobody cares. That's fine. You did what you needed to do. Second 50-point game of the season.
Okay, if Jokic would have finished with 20 assists to go with his 23 points and 21 rebounds, would that be enough for you to say this man is the whoa boy, a 20-20-20? Percentages weren't great. He was 8 of 19 from the field.
Yeah, no, I guess it all depends.
But 1 turnover.
I think the leagues have made threes in them and the percentages, as you said. So I think it'd go with Jamal with 9 threes, 19 of 28. Although, the 6 boards and 4 assists doesn't compare to 2020.
Yeah, 53 is a nice number, though. You see that and you say, whoa, boy, that's a lot of points.
It's 30 fewer than Bam Bam.
It's 30 fewer than Bam Bam.
Still, pretty good.
Oh, the pick and payoff. I hate it. I hate the pick and payoff right now. I think I missed 5 in a row.
Really?
Yeah. I had a good lead over Skeetsy, and It has completely evaporated. I was the only one on the Thunder last night, I believe. You got a W. Skeet's got a W. We've got a competition going here. I'm 8-10. Skeet's 7-11. You're just picking games for the love of it.
I'm good. 4 nights remaining though, so you guys are gonna have a battle. It's
gonna be tight, yeah.
Till the end of March. Yep. And I thought tonight's game was kind of tough. The Knicks at Charlotte. It's tough to pick.
Yeah.
So you're on the Hornets while Skeets and I are on the Knicks. So it's a big game here. It's basically a pick 'em. The Knicks have to win by 2 or more because the line's 1.5 that they're favored by in Charlotte. But why are you riding with Charlotte?
I'm riding with Charlotte mostly because they're the home team, and I've picked a lot of road teams lately, and like I said, it's not going well. So I think they can win. You know, like you're saying, FanDuel is telling us this is basically a toss-up anyways with just a 1.5 point line. So the home factor is what pushed it over the top for me. But I've been wrong for an entire week straight, so we'll see.
Okay. The Knicks, having won 7 straight, kind of quietly. I want to keep it going, I'm sure.
That's another factor. I've picked teams on streaks a lot lately. And I've been whiffing. Like I picked OKC last night. You know I should have looked at? I forgot that the Celtics were well rested.
You think that was a factor?
It certainly was a factor. Sunday game to Wednesday. They're rusty
That's
coming out of the
rest.
gate. Rest versus rest.
You know
what? A little rhythm.
You know what the NBA is doing pretty well right now, not having a lot of back-to-backs scheduled for teams. Like the Nuggets, they're finally done with them.
Yes.
There seems to be a lot that they're cruising into the playoffs well rested.
Yes.
So that's a nice thing.
The thing I like right now is if there's a bad team involved in the game, you know the game is going to be brutal, but you might get a very cool performance, whether it be 83 points or a guy going for 50 while his teammate is basically 20-20-20, you know? So that's exciting. But also, if the two teams that are playing against each other actually care and have something to play for, the basketball's been very good. Hop on in.
Hop on in tomorrow when we get back here and do the drop right here. Finish off the week. But there's always basketball on the weekend, so you know.
There's always basketball.
And college basketball.
That's right.
And the old
B-League
baseball.
starting soon.
The B League.
Yeah, baby.
Project B. We will see you tomorrow. But for now, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, one-on-one sounds very good for a date. What it also is good for is leaving us a review.
Hey.
A one-on-one. One on Spotify, one on Apple, wherever you listen. Just drop one in there for us.
That'd be good.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much in advance.